It is such an honor to be here today, both as a proud board member of the DeKalb Chamber and as presenting sponsor of this important event. Georgia Power has a long-standing commitment to empowering Georgia Power's communities, and we believe that partnership is the key to progress. Whether it's through supporting small businesses, investing in sustainable energy solutions, or fostering workforce development, we are proud to play a role in shaping a brighter future for DeKalb County and beyond. We know that a strong economy begins with strong relationships, and organizations like the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce make those connections possible. Your dedication to advocating for businesses, supporting local entrepreneurs, and championing economic development is truly inspiring. At Georgia Power, we share your vision for a vibrant and prosperous future. Together, we can continue to build a community that thrives, where businesses flourish, families grow, and innovation leads the way. Thank you again for the opportunity to sponsor today's event and to be a part of this incredible network of leaders. Let's keep working together to power the success of DeKalb County. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. We truly appreciate not only your continued sponsorship, but support of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. We also like to take this time to recognize all of our elected officials and appointed officials and our school board members. Please take a moment to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service and commitment to DeKalb County and the Metro region. Up next, I would like to invite DeKalb County Commissioner Michelle Long Spears to bring greetings from the county. Commissioner Michelle Spears, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Long Spears, and I am proud to serve as the District 2 Commissioner here in DeKalb County, as well as recently being appointed as DeKalb County's presiding officer for 2025. I was told recently that you shouldn't say Happy New Year after the 7th of January, but I feel remiss to not say Happy New Year to everyone in this room, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, thriving 2025. I'd also like to recognize some of my colleagues here today. First, our new Deputy Presiding Officer, Commissioner Messiah, if you'd please stand. We also have our District 6 Commissioner, Commissioner Ted Terry. And another one of our Super District Commissioners, Commissioner Bolton. Also, I'd like to recognize that we do have members from the other district offices present today. So if you guys would all please stand. Demetrius, thank you guys. And our central staff is present as well, and we have our interim chief of staff for the BOC, Dion, who is over here taking video. So greetings on behalf of DeKalb County. Thank you so much for including all of the members of the Board of Commissioners as well as the administration here today. I am honored to say thank you to everyone in this room, to all of the staff who made today happen. I don't know about you all, but I feel like we've gotten a great start to 2025. I truly hope that momentum continues throughout the year. And today we are here honoring our DeKalb Chamber. I am so truly proud of the efforts and the accomplishments of the DeKalb Chamber over the last several years. I don't know if we would be here without the strong leadership of Frankie Atwater, who is behind me. Let's give him a hand. DeKalb County continues to be very proud of our chamber. We hope to continue investing and strengthening and building our chamber's resources and bandwidth so we can continue to serve the business community here in DeKalb County. So thank you all so very much. Enjoy your food. Happy, happy, happy 2025. And I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Long-Spears. We excuse me, truly appreciate your continued support of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce, as well as the work you're doing in DeKalb County. At this time, I would like to invite up Mayor Beverly Jones to bring greetings from the city of Stone Mountain. Beverly Jones, please.
First, I'd like to thank everyone, and primarily the Chamber of Commerce, for this wonderful opportunity that you have awarded me to address such a fantastic and distinguished group of people. I am bringing greetings from the city of Stone Mountain, and I am just so proud to be here today. And I'm just so proud to be connected to the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. It's a remarkable organization, which everyone knows, but just from the city of Stone Mountain, just in a short time, they have shown us tremendous growth. They have been a part of the city, coming in, helping us do events, helping us to promote our city, giving us ideas on revitalization. But more importantly, it's like events like today where I can connect with other cities, other commissioners, other politicians, presidents of companies. And so these are the things that help us in our strive to make our city better. So we couldn't do it without the Chamber of Commerce. And like I said, they have always been like the big sister to the city of Stone Mountain. And so today is a very, very special day for me because I get an opportunity not just to meet the people that I know at the Chamber, but I get an opportunity to meet the entire group. And I also get an opportunity to meet the most distinguished guest and distinguished celebrities, as the people at my table had said, who is representing DeKalb. You know, they say there's nothing greater than the people in Decatur. And so I say... So I would be remiss if I didn't say that there's nothing greater than the people in DeKalb County. And thank you all for making the city of Stone Mountain what it is, but more importantly, thank you for making Stone Mountain for what it's going to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Very nice. From his start with Kia, Georgia in 2008, Mr. Countess was a key figure in developing and implementing the Kia Way and the Georgia production system as core practices of the facility's operational system. Mr. Countess has held positions as the company's Director of Quality, Vice President of Quality, Chief Administrative Officer, and Chief Operating Officer before assuming his current role. He is highly active in the community, civic, and educational organizations, promoting individual development and providing leadership through service on multiple boards and committees in various capacities. I also would like to interject, it's my understanding that he is a big Alabama fan, but they torture him at the office whenever Georgia does well, so he has to stay strong, I'm sure, but I had to find something to say about you. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Stuart Countess to the stage.
Yeah, I always get that comment. It doesn't matter who I see in the state, but I have a Georgia tie, and I do wear it because I spend more time in Athens than I do in Tuscaloosa. But I also have bets with my own internal team members about who won, and I won this year. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. Several of you I know from past events, and it's great to be back to see you, but also to share, you know, kind of what we're doing for those of you who are familiar, but also maybe not so familiar with what we do in West Point. Frankie told me really kind of two topics, and that's what I'm going to touch on and try to leave some time at the end for you to ask questions and see if if I can answer them at all possible. We're going to touch on two things. One is about economic development. I'm going to tell you a little bit about from the plant site, kind of what that meant to this West Point, West Georgia rural area. But then I want to talk at the end, which is kind of a passion of mine, is certainly about workforce development. And there's a lot of work that goes on throughout the state. We work with Georgia Power on many different things, and many other companies too. So this is a brief overview of really who we are. We were announced to come to the state of Georgia on March of 2006. This past November, we celebrated 15 years of manufacturing in the state of Georgia. It's hard to believe that it was 15 years ago. Personally, I'm on my 18th year with Kia. We have made more than, it's my electric personality. We've made more than 4.6 million cars in the state of Georgia. So that's a lot of cars in a very short period of time, to be quite honest. The acreage that we sit on, we have 2,200 acres. It's a pretty good size lot. If you ever travel down I-85, once you get to exit 6, the land almost stretches to exit 2. And only about 650 of that acreage has been developed at this point, and it shows you up here about 35 acres under rooftop. Now those numbers are getting ready to update because we just recently completed a $217 million expansion that will allow us to produce electric vehicles in the state of Georgia. $3.2 billion is the stated investment so far in the state. That does not include our supply base, which is stretching all throughout Georgia now. As you well know, there is a plant over in Savannah that's a sister company, and then we have a sister company also down in Montgomery, which is the Hyundai side of the family. So there's an entire supply base, which is about the economic development and growth and the job opportunities that come with such a large operation. We have 3,200 team members on site, and that does include both permanent and what we call temp. We run a temp to perm system so that we can flex with the market as the auto market moves up and down throughout the years, but it provides us an ability to provide stable employment for everyone. If you add our on-site supply base, which we have several of our sister or affiliate companies that are on our pad, we are the second largest city in Troup County. That means that we have 6,500 to 6,700 people on our plant site 5 days out of the week over a 24-hour period. 3 shifts, 5 days a week. We can run Saturdays if we need. That's purely market driven. And that allows us to produce a capacity of 350,000 vehicles a year. We have made as many as 372,000 in a single year. And then if you want to translate that into how many cars are produced a day, we make a new car every 51 seconds. That's how you get to 4.6 million real quick. So it is a quite fast process, but it's a very smooth process. I like to share with people too that when everything's going exactly the way you want it, and that's the way we all want our businesses to go, it's like watching a symphony. And sometimes I find myself in overheads looking down, and the motion of how people are conducting work is actually quite soothing just to see it. So, interesting process. A little bit of the history of Kia for those who may not know. In 1944, we actually started off as a bicycle company. And in 1957, we moved into motorcycles. In 1973, we made our first car that was in Korea. And here today in 2025, we are now making electric vehicles in the state of Georgia, which is our home. The economic side, for those who aren't familiar with that West Georgia region, West Point, LaGrange, and the surrounding communities were textile communities. West Point, Pepperell, Milliken, just to name a couple. With NAFTA, there was a lot of change that took place. I originally started out of college at a job in LaGrange with Hughes Aircraft there, and I knew what was in that community. It was a great and wonderful place. 28,000 people living there. It was fantastic, especially for a young kid. Now, there was a lot more to do in Atlanta, I'm going to agree with you. but my parents were really happy that I was in LaGrange. But it went away. And kind of sad when you see, what was the lifeblood of a community. That was the jobs that where most people worked. We come back and we're going to build this auto plant. That is what sits there. Hopefully we are the lifeblood of what has brought West Point back to life. It is a thriving downtown community now. Many restaurants, many of our own team members, suppliers, et cetera, have now partake every single day there. But we like to think that we've given back to the community from that aspect, and we continue to do so. We have given more than $22 million to the local corporate service, corporate social responsibility efforts. We tend to focus in really 3 areas: the human services. We also focus on the conservation side of it, but where we do spend most of our time is in the education and workforce development, and I'm going to come to that in just a little bit. So, what do we make? We actually make 5 different cars on a single line system. Most OEMs will make 5 cars and have parallel lines where they split different brands off. Our system remains flexible that we can make a Telluride, a Sorento, a Sportage, an EV6 or an EV9 in exactly that order, and we can repeat it every minute. So it's a little different than what most people see, but that's how we are trying to respond to you, the consumer, and the demand. So in the top left is the Telluride. This car was announced actually at the 2019 Super Bowl here in Atlanta. Some of you may remember the little boy with, the cowboy hat. He was from the area. And it brought a personal touch to what happened in this area and how it helped to revive it. I've been building cars for 30 years. I've never in my entire career seen a car do what this one does. Most cars kind of go, through a ramp up and then kind of plateau off. We are still yet unable to meet the demand for this car, and we have expanded it more than twice what the original capacity was. So every car that you get in a Telluride, the only place in the entire world it is built is here in West Point, Georgia. The bottom left is the EV9. We launched that car last year on May 30th. It is the first battery electric car made in the state of Georgia. It is a full row, three-row, all SUV battery electric vehicle. It is the largest car that we made. It is larger than a Telluride by about 50 millimeters. The top right is a Sorento. The Sorento is also a 3-row SUV, and it is on its 3rd generation here in Georgia. And then the bottom right is the Sportage, which is classified as really a CUV. It's a 2-row. It is the most popular selling car in North America for Kia. And then last week, we started the production of our second all-electric vehicle, the EV6. So we make 5 different cars. We make 1,450 cars a day, and we can build any amount in volume based on, again, what that market condition is. It gives us a lot of flexibility to maintain that stable employment for our team members. So we think it's the right, kind of the right formula. We invite every one of you, if you hadn't been, how many people maybe have visited our facility before? Okay, so April and Natalie over here will help get you all set up for a tour. If you haven't ever been in an automotive plant, I encourage you to come and see, what the hardworking people of Georgia do every day. Trust me, they like to see you come. They'll wave at you. That is not staged. We get accused of that all the time. They are happy to see people come and share what they're doing in the state of Georgia. So let me move to the workforce development side. Workforce development is key to us for many of the same reasons as your business. That is the lifeblood. I need employees. I not only need people who work on the production line, but I need HR professionals, I need finance professionals, I need engineers of varying kinds. There are plenty of opportunities available. The question is, how do we encourage people to get into manufacturing? Unfortunately, there's what we call the 4 Ds out there about manufacturing. That it's dull, dirty, dark, and it's a dead-end job. Now, I have a problem with that. I've worked in manufacturing all my life. West Point, Georgia, and that region, and in many of your areas, manufacturing is what we do. That is how we generate the products that we all enjoy, whether it be a cell phone, a car, a washing machine, or whatever product you want to pick. But manufacturing is not a dead-end career. The challenge is we have to change that perception. Encourage young minds, bright minds to seek this out. Consider what you can learn and what you can earn in a manufacturing environment. Not picking on Georgia Power, but I think they have the same problem, as I know. How do they get the linemen to come and do the work to keep our lights on? We have got to change our focus on how to get young people to come in, or even individuals who are seeking a career change to do something different in their life. Part of that starts with the partnerships with our technical colleges in the state. There's no system that beats that, in my opinion. I've seen other ones. But with what we do with those 22 colleges around the state, they are providing the education and the background to help someone get to that whatever desired next level is. And it's basically free. And I'm going to come back to that and share a true story about how we need to communicate that to people seeking an opportunity. The same goes for the education system in the K through 12. We focus actually 2 specific programs throughout our area. Some of that is growing outside of our area also, but we go into the elementary schools and even up to 8th grade doing hands-on experiment work with children in these educational environments. Our employees go in, we provide kits. To date, we've put more than $3.6 million in providing these kits. But what we're trying to teach is how to focus on team building. How do you work with other people who may have differing opinions, different thought processes? Teach them problem-solving skills, teach them analytical skills, and that will serve them really well later in life. The second program is one called Green Power USA. Green Power USA actually is very fitting for us because these students, and it's also elementary, middle, high school, and now getting into some of the colleges, are buying a kit and building a battery electric go-kart, kind of fitting for what we do. But they too compete to get in these classes. And then they have to work together as a team in order to achieve success. They compete against other children the same age, but they're learning team skills and other essential skills such as finance, marketing, problem solving, engineering aspects. It may be what they want to do, and it may not be, but try it out now and learn where your interest and focus are. We feel like we have to continue that, and I think many companies throughout the state of Georgia also feel the exact same thing. One of the best things that's happening right now, as you well know, is through the governor's initiative on developing career pathways, having a high demand, high career list. That process is moving forward very well. We now have Georgia Match, where students who are graduating high school are getting letters and saying, we have a slot for you in these specific universities or technical colleges. It certainly depends upon where they live, has some aspects certainly about grades and things like that. But I challenge you to think about this. Remember back when we got those letters and the smiles that came on our face that says, I'm accepted. And many of these kids don't know that. So I think that we're stepping into the right direction, and then the further development of that with the career path initiatives focused on technical skills to be successful in life, that's the strong pathway to help support the entire state of Georgia and certainly keep it as the #1 state in which to do business. So the other piece of that is When you go back into Think College and Career Academies, and I'm not sure about your area, you probably do have a college and career academy. Any nods? Maybe, okay. There's a number of college and career academies around. We were a founding partner in one in Troup County. The reason that we were there was because we saw a need for maintenance-related skills that was void within our area. So in working with, at that time, Georgia Quick Start, and certainly with the technical college, we developed a maintenance certification program that is now available in the technical college system. We have now also worked with the technical college system to provide an advanced manufacturing degree, again, giving individuals an option. Work-based learning is another aspect of our program. That happens in high school, where the individual spends 4 hours at our place of work, 4 hours in the home-based school. But what are they doing? They're learning what might be interest to them. The worst thing they're going to learn is that's not what I want to do. And I don't personally see that as a failure. Get it off the table and move on to the next topic. Two success stories that I'll share with you real quick, because I want to leave some time for questions. Got a young man who's now, he's still working for us. He's 26 years old. He came through work-based learning. I asked him when he came in, you know, what's your plan? What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to go to Auburn. I had to work on that. I'm going to be a mechanical engineer, and that's my plan. That sounds like a pretty good plan to me. So he went through 3 semesters with us. All right, what'd you learn? What are you going to do now? His response was, I like what I do, but I can't afford to go to college. I'm in a single parent household, and I can't accept the debt. So my revised plan is I'm going to go to the technical college, get my 2-year degree. He's still working for us, and he's north of 6 figures at 26 years of age. He is an individual that we have offered numerous times to send him back to get his degree. Doesn't have any interest whatsoever. I think the important part of that is not only providing the opportunity, but it's understanding that children are now seeing things in a very different light than maybe each of us grew up. And God knows I push my own kids down a pathway that sometimes they wonder what I was thinking. We have to open our eyes as leaders in the community, and certainly leaders in the company, and think of different ways to address the needs of not only their future, but our future. The second one, and I promise this will be the end, and I'll take questions. Same cohort from that college and career academy. Young man came in, he worked in our paint shop. They were changing out a filter. There were a number of 30-year veterans there with him, and he asked the question, why are you doing it this way? That's the way we always did it. You know, that's the standard answer. So he said, well, I think you need to do this. He turned a 1-hour job into a 15-minute job, an 18-year-old individual. He saw the world through a different set of lenses. Guess which way I do it now? So again, if we don't open our eyes up as leaders within our own communities and companies, we're missing the opportunity to improve our businesses, and certainly you can argue for improve your bottom line, because we need those people. We just have to help coach them and teach them in life about what they have to do. So I'll take some questions about that. I kind of covered a wide array. Maybe you don't have any questions. I'll repeat the questions so everybody can hear.
CEO, thank you for being here and sharing your inspirational words. I was hoping you could speak a little bit more about the College and Career Academy and your experience, and what advice you might give to a community like ours that is potentially interested in pursuing that model.
The question was about the College and Career Academy, and I guess more or less how did it become about, but why is it important to communities, and how do you need to think about it? For us, that was about promoting the jobs and the opportunities within our local community. I will say this with no apology. That College and Career Academy needs to stay focused on what goes on inside your community. If you have businesses who are contributing money to the development of that, that's who your customer is. And I've had a lot of battles with recently where we tend to veer off to whatever somebody believes is the hottest path. Well, I need to make cars, Milliken needs to do this, Duracell needs to do this. They're the contributors and we need to listen to them. But it takes close management because it's very easy to veer off track to whatever the trend is that somebody recognized on a TikTok video. And I seriously mean that. I make no apologies. It is a successful model because there you have equipment that can get donated by your companies within your community, and it's a live lab. You can learn while you're there, plus bring them in. Let me add this. Somebody asked me, I was in Columbus this morning, how do you bring a person into a Georgia Power to do work or into mine? Because the answer always is you can't do that. They're not 18 years old or they're not some certain age. The answer is stop telling me how I can't do it and tell me how I am going to do it. It's that important. It can be done, but you better have some stamina to push back and say, you tell me how I can't. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to put somebody up on a pole line. I'm sorry, I keep using Georgia Power, but they're my friends. They give me all my juice. They're not going to put somebody up on a pole. I'm not going to put somebody in working on a robot. But I can get a lot of value out of having that young person stand on the side and watch the work ethic and learn the problem-solving techniques. That's a win in my book.
We'll take one more question. Ms. Pierce?
Thank you very much for your presentation. I really appreciate it very much, and the story that you told about the student. One of the things you mentioned is how do you get kids interested in that in any kind of field, actually. By the time you get to high school, in my estimation, it's too late. They see family, friends, and whatever, maybe working in certain industries, but they don't know how to get there. One of the suggestions I might make to you and any business lady is you come and talk to our curriculum and instruction department, because we don't really know what you need from us. It might be that we need a curriculum change to lead us into that particular type of industry. And if you start it early, we've already talked about middle school is great. You ask the question, many people ask the question, what do you want to do when you grow up? In your middle school, you have absolutely no idea. But in fifth grade, our kids are a lot more astute now. If you introduce those types of things, if you have the curriculum geared toward whatever it is, it will probably keep their interest more. So I would ask you to come, any business person here, to talk to curriculum instruction in our education arena and tell us what it is that you need for us to be successful.
No, you're very right, and you reminded me of a couple of things, so I appreciate everything you said. Businesses are willing to come in, and I've talked to leadership at Lockheed Martin, Caterpillar. We're all willing to come into the businesses. If we sit back as an industry and wait for the education system to deliver it, then we're going to be still sitting here going, what are we doing? So how do we partner together? By coming into the classroom. We also provide tours for kids to show them what a career can look like. We offer and open our doors to educators to come in and spend an externship with us for 3 to 5 days, see what the careers can look like. The only request is that you take that also back. You do have to start at least in middle school, 100% agree. But because the formulation of what you may or may not be interested in begins there. I would encourage, and I think, I always forget the name, there's an aptitude test, more or less, that's been sponsored by the state DOE, U-Science. If you're not utilizing it, please do. It's kind of what I remember growing up. It's a system that tells me, here's the things that I might be best at based on a set of questions. At worst case, if you try them out, you learn that's not what you're going to do. So how do we help shape those careers? Yeah. Thank you.
So after college, finished school, went to Columbia College in Chicago, decided to go down to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. I played on the beach. We all have those moments. Money ran out, came back. And I started my career in retail. Worked for Tom McCann Shoes. Anyone know about Tom McCann Shoes? Oh yeah, there you go, good shoes. You know, I told them I'm a graduate of art and I want to be an artist, and they said, come manage one of our stores. So I managed Tom McCann, went to Savannah, got to Atlanta, bottom fell out, started at Famous Footwear, bottom fell out, started at Macy's. I was a manager at Macy's, managed over here at Northlake Mall, and a dear friend came to me and she said, Earl, didn't you go to school for art? And I thought, you're right. And I said, okay. Went to my wife and said, baby, can we take our tax refund and buy a program? And she said, you better do it. That's my vacation money. So I took that tax refund and I studied art, studied program, because see, when I was in school, there were no computers. We didn't have computers. Everything was done by hand. And so I studied, landed a job at the Marietta Daily Journal, started working for a company in Marietta designing signs, and my dad came, not my dad, I call him my dad, but it's my wife's father, but he's my dad, came to me and he said, how long are you going to allow them to exploit you? He used some other words. Exploit you of your talent. Okay, let's talk. I want you to write a business plan and let's do this. Took a year, wrote the plan, went to the bank, not your bank, Fred. They laughed at me. You're not asking for enough. My father got mad and said, hey, guess what? I'm going to get a loan on this house and we're going to get your equipment. Started in a 10 by 10 room in my basement, moved to Tucker, and that's where things flew off the chart. Met a young lady who was helping me with my QuickBooks. Her name was Cassandra. She introduced me to this lovely gentleman. I love him. He's like a brother. Leonardo McClary. Sent me a letter one day in the mail. Will you be on my board? I'm like, what? Is this what my aunt was talking about? See, my aunt was the president of the Gary Chamber. And when I started my business, she said, I need you to get a part of a chamber. And when I saw that letter, she had passed on. When I saw that letter, I was like, thanks, Maxine, you're talking to me. So, went to my first board meeting, and oh my God, the people who I saw, Mr. Lovett, Betty Willis, Arnie Silverman, John Shelton, Kevin Griner, I got a list right here, Al Edwards, Dolores Crowell, Alan Dishman, Arnie Silverman, Betty Willis. They taught me what it took to run a business. Betsy sat down with me and taught me how to get my finances in order. And believe it, I didn't share this little tidbit. When I started my business, I looked at a franchise. Once again, I couldn't afford it. But Betsy sat down with me and helped me get my books in order. So, fast forward, that same franchise that I said I couldn't afford called me. We see you. We want you to be a part of this program. I was the first independent to join Alliance franchise brand as MS360 Tucker. From that point on, Leonardo coached me. Arnie Silverman coached me. Fred Daniels coached me. You all didn't know you were coaching me, but I was listening. And so what I decided to do is knock on the door and say, DeKalb County, I need a contract. I was blessed to do signage for Stonecrest Library, Scott Campbell Library, Embry Hills Library. And I was also blessed just a couple of weeks ago, Ellenwood Watershed Project, the largest project here in DeKalb County. My signs are there. Remember that little boy who said one day he's going to make signs? But guess what? Have you all ever got one of those self-installed kits from the cable company? You plug it up and you cut the channel on? Nothing. You call the cable company mad? Sir, did you plug it up? Oh! So, how many of you are plugged up into the chamber? One other thing, who like grapes? Oh, I love me some grapes. See, I go to Costco and I get that little plastic container that got all the grapes in it. Do you all realize you're eating a dead fruit? Do you know that? When you cut it from the vine, it stopped growing. So when you get that membership, don't cut the cord. I'm an example of what your donations, and I forgot to give a shout out because there was one thing, I got another letter in the mail. I want you to be a part of Leadership DeKalb. Woo! The GOAT, Class 14. Can I get a shout out? I learned so much about DeKalb County. Why? Because I plugged in the cord. I was connected, and sometimes financially it hurt, but I never cut the cord. So this year, we're gonna have a blast on this board. And if you're an entrepreneur, I wanna see you out there, and let's talk about how you can get connected. Thank you. All right, so, and you know, by the way, that franchise, just to let you all know, my wife and I received the highest award last year for participation. So no matter what you do, you have to stay connected. But what I like to do is I like to recognize the 2025 Board of Directors, and we're thankful for what they agreed to serve on our board and look forward to working together to further the mission of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. So, as I call your name out, I'd like you to come on stage. All right, let's get this together here. Now, I will tell you as chair, I have an attendance policy. So before you come up here, I want you to remember that, because that was, you know, I had an HR manager tell me, Earl, you got an attendance problem. And I made sure I collected a month worth of attendance, and I said, see, I'm on time. She said, anybody can come on time for a month. I was like, all right, fine. So, Theo Anderson, Mercer University. Elaine Armstrong, Goodwill of North Georgia. Clarice Braxton of Kaiser Permanente. Fred Daniels, Citizen Trust Bank. Gwendolyn Ferris, Citizen Empowerment Group. Terrell Gibbs. Uh-oh, Thor is dropping his hammer. I said Terrell Gibbs of Corporate Environment Risk, CERM. Brandon Harley, AT&T. Matt Ingold of Atlanta Gas Light. Trish Miller of Swim Kids International. This was changed. Uh-oh. Terry King of Commercial Restoration. Kendra Price, Emory University. Kelsey Robinson, EGM Services. Vanessa Rossell, United Way of Greater Atlanta and DeKalb County. The Mr. Lawrence Sharp Jr., come on up, Lawrence. Jeff Taylor of Medicare Health. Rhonda Thomas, Georgia Power. Eric Thomas, Farrell Concave, PCX. Troy Vincent of the Engraving House. Glenn Wallace, Oasis Consulting Services, and Fred Williams of Pepsi Beverage Company. Now I'd like to invite Commissioner Michelle Long Spears on stage to install the 2025 DeKalb Chamber Board of Directors.
Congratulations, everybody.
You know what, he tried to take my hand off.
All righty. And lower this a tiny bit. Thank you, sir. That works. Thank you. Well, congratulations. We're very excited and very proud of you. Let's give them a hand one more time. All righty. Let me get all formal here. You have been elected to serve as officers and directors for the DeKalb County Board of Directors. You are worthy of the honor bestowed upon you. Your business experience and in community involvement distinguish you as an admirable representative of the DeKalb Chamber. It will be your solemn duty to work with the president, fellow board members, and chamber members to advance the organization and faithfully perform the duties of your office as prescribed by the bylaws, Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly promise and pledge that I will adhere to the bylaws as officially established and will diligently execute the duties of my office to the best of my knowledge and ability. All right, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I present to you the 2025 DeKalb Chamber Board of Directors. Let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you and congratulations. And now you may be seated.
Thank you, Commissioner Michelle Long Spears, for swearing our board members in. I know they truly appreciate this opportunity. We have a lot of great work this year, a lot of great things that are happening with the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here to tell you, and I know you may say, well, you know, as a president, these are things that, you know, customarily that you may bring out, but I truly have a great supporting cast on our board of directors. I mean, they truly operate and do a lot of great work for DeKalb County. So believe me, if you have an opportunity where you can network with them, they are all about the prosper and the work of DeKalb County. So I want to go through a few things, and what I'll give this afternoon, you get a touch on the things that we've done, the success that we've had here at DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce. And I think a lot of you will be really pleased to hear the growth of this chamber and where we've come even to this point. What I want to do to begin with is to really thank Stuart Countess for coming in and answering the call to come here to the annual meeting with the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce and give the keynote. And when I visited the Kia facility, Stuart had that discussion. He was talking about workforce development. He was talking about education, advanced education. But one thing he kept pointing out, is that, Frankie, 25% of my engineers do not have college degrees. And I thought about that, and the first thing I thought about is Georgia Piedmont Technical College. I thought about DeKalb County schools. I thought about City of Decatur schools. And I started thinking, well, we got Mercer, we got Georgia State. But he said something that really stood out to me that, you know, we push our children for four-year degrees. We talk about going to get your bachelor's, your master's, your doctorate. But he brought out a fine example for all of us, the importance of just technical colleges or even being trained on the job. And so they invest in their students, and I think that's something I thought was huge for us to do the same here in DeKalb County. I want to give a huge shout out to the backbone of our organization, our incredible chamber team. And I have a team, it's me. It's Stephanie Strength in the back and Carla Andrea Hayes, if they could stand, please. And I also want to thank our chamber volunteers, as well as, again, our board of directors. You truly are the engine that drives our success. And so today we celebrate a remarkable year of achievements here at the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. And last year I had a theme. I love starting with a theme because that theme gives us something to set a goal by and try to achieve. And this year we're building the future together. And this really goes along with our new CEO, Lorraine Cochran-Johnson, as she talked about us getting away from silos and began collaborating more together to build a strong DeKalb County. And you'll start seeing a lot of that with us, with DeKalb County Schools. We are in lockstep with DeKalb County Schools, City of Decatur Schools, and making things happen, Georgia Piedmont Technical College. So 2024 has really been a year of tremendous progress, and it's been a positive impact for the Chamber. We've been laser focused on our mission and supporting businesses, driving economic growth, and enhancing the quality of life for DeKalb County residents. So you're ready to hear about the success that we've had. I am truly proud of it. And that being the case because my team worked so hard, the three of us, in making these things happen together. In 2024, throughout my year coming into the chamber, and I remember talking with Elaine Armstrong and our board members, Brandon Hartley, and at the time it was Trevor Quander as our chair. And I sat across from them and I said, is partnership number one? What does that partnership look like between the board and the president? And Elaine looked at me like she's looking at me now, in my face. And she says, Frankie, we are in partnership with the president and support the president moving forward. So we're in lockstep. And they've proven true to that, even to this very day, and proven true in working in partnership with me as the president and CEO. In 2024, the theme was Innovation Unleashed. And the reason for that theme was getting us beyond the pandemic. After the pandemic, our businesses we encourage them, continue to this day, for them to be innovative. They have to be innovative, especially driving now. A lot of things are done virtually versus everyone coming into the office. A lot of things are done on a hybrid model versus everyone showing up at the office. But from the time of my walking in the door, Stephanie, Carlandria, and I worked collectively with the board to increase our membership by over 50% in 3 years. Now, this explosion in our network is a direct result of, again, innovative approaches in how we operate as a chamber, and a clear demonstration that businesses recognize the value of being part of a forward-thinking chamber. Yes, and you probably hear me say a lot about we're not granddad's chamber. Well, we do keep some of the old philosophy, because if you remember, a lot of chambers started from unions, agriculture, needing that support, and battling bills and legislation that's our business barriers. So they were there to provide that. And the result really speaks for itself by all of you being here today joining us. And also, in addition to that, we strengthen our partnership with our education providers through direct engagement. And so with that being the case, we've launched in 2024, started the process with support from Commissioner Terry's office on the launch of Dream DeKalb. Now, what is Dream DeKalb all about? What is that doing? Well, Dream DeKalb, first of all, it brings the business community and education partners together to begin talking about the importance of education in DeKalb County. We hear the press, we see what they write about us in DeKalb, we don't care. Because see, what's gonna happen, they're gonna see us in the next 3 years. And then a lot of them are gonna be looking for some of the homes that are in DeKalb County. A lot of the businesses will want to invest in DeKalb County. A lot of the businesses will want their kids to go to DeKalb County schools because they know they're gonna get an excellent education in DeKalb. And a lot of that started here in partnership with our commissioners, with Ted Terry and his team. See, we expanded networking business development opportunities through a highly successful Business at Breakfast in our Coffee and Connection series. So a lot of you may hear a lot about that Coffee and Connections in our Business at Breakfast series. And our staff person, Carlandria Hayes, is doing a fantastic, phenomenal job in moving that forward. She's busy. You may not be able to catch her all the time, but you may be able to catch her at one of those events. See, in collaboration with former Commissioner Steve Bradshaw, we also initiated some vital work on the Community Improvement District, Business Improvement District that we're exploring developing on Memorial Drive. Now, many of you remember how that used to look. That was before my time in coming to Georgia. But I hear about how you could do so much in Memorial Drive, how you could go there and have a nice evening meal. My wife and I, we call it date night. And you can go do a lot of things on Memorial Drive. Our focus is to continue to work with DeKalb County to renovate that corridor, to get it back to a standard where everyone can enjoy it. Yes, there usually is an applause after that one. And Commissioner Spears in her office has been very instrumental in working with us as well. Commissioner Spears is a champion of small businesses and what we continue to do. Myself and Commissioner Spears sat and we talked about the great businesses that are in DeKalb County, but she thought, as well as other commissioners, it's very important that they continue to support small businesses in DeKalb County through the chamber. And she kept her word, as she also assisted the chamber in receiving funds from DeKalb County to continue our efforts in supporting our small businesses. But to conclude our year, and I pat my chamber board of directors on the back from afar, and I guess I give myself and my team members My staff also, a pat on the back. Our CEO, Michael Thurman, selected the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce to host his farewell event. And what a joy we had at the Jewel Box. With so many friends in attendance, we really enjoyed that opportunity. But what was that? That was a true testament that the Chamber has a major role in our community. As our new chair had mentioned, invest in the Chamber. If you're connected, stay connected. Don't disconnect, especially now when your chamber is growing. See, these achievements are a direct result of our collective efforts, and they demonstrate our unwavering commitment to making DeKalb County this premier destination to live, to work, and some say play, but to engage and to grow here in DeKalb County. So what do we have on store for you in 2025? The new theme, DeKalb, building the future together. See, we're going to significantly expand our small business support, especially through economic development and opportunities to access capital. We're working on exploring, looking at opportunities through a community improvement district that I just mentioned, but also I thought something that would be very helpful to small businesses. That is a small business accelerator program. Yeah, you hear about the micro lending and loans that are out there. I've been in this business for 30 years and done a lot of that for the state of Illinois. But you hear about that. We're advancing this even further. We're partnering with Georgia Piedmont Technical College to provide training to business owners so that they can excel, so they understand they can bake a good cake, but how you can operate the business, how you can move it forward, how you can do sales, inventory, capital, all the investment, what tax incentives that the county has, walking you through that. But now they have to make an agreement with us. Isn't that right, Dr. Holston? They have to make an agreement to stick with us for 3 years. What does that 3 years mean? That just means we're going to stop by and see how you're doing. That's it. We just want to make sure that your business continues to thrive. And we will also elevate our education and workforce development initiatives in close collaboration, as I mentioned earlier, with DeKalb County Schools, City of Decatur Schools, and our higher ed institutions here in DeKalb County. We are truly thrilled to announce the launch of our inaugural Manufacturing Summit. And some of you may wonder, Frankie, Stewart is from Kia, that's in LaGrange. There was a point to that. It's a strategy. Kia is one of the most productive manufacturing industries in the state of Georgia. And I took it upon myself, one of those things where if you don't ask, you don't receive. So I reached out to Stewart and asked, and Stewart jumped. And he thought it was a nice opportunity where he could come and speak to us about manufacturing, but the importance of that here in DeKalb County. So this year, we're launching our inaugural Manufacturing Summit. Now, how successful has this chamber been and things have been moving? Here to tell you, if you want to be a presenting sponsor, it's already gone. It's already sold, and we haven't advertised the event yet. So what a nice opportunity to invest in your chamber at this point in time. So that was just a few initiatives I'm excited about. My board's going to hear more and more about it because I'm going to be pulling Fred Daniels and some of the others nearby me. We're going to do a lot of great things. He's sitting over there, so I'm saying it publicly so I can hold him. But we're going to do a lot of great things together and launching the Small Business Accelerator Program, a community development finance institution. Can you imagine that running through your chamber? A finance institution. So we're looking at doing that as well. So to conclude, the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce is deeply invested in the success of our community. And we're incredibly excited about the opportunities for 2025 and looking at that theme, DeKalb building the future together. So we can achieve even greater things. And I encourage each of you, get involved in the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. And I was telling some today that my staff, they pulled me aside and they asked, Frankie, our calendar is full. They said, Frankie, please. So if I end up missing, you guys know who to look for. Our calendar at this point, we're looking at over 14 signature events. We had to turn away signature events for the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. So give applause to my team. Your chamber is healthy. We're doing a lot of great work, but we need the partnership to really expand and doing what we're doing. Expand our capacity, but also in partnership and expand with you as well. But at this point in time, I don't want to hold you much longer. I want to invite up some very important individuals here with the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce as we conclude. I would like to invite our committee chairs to please come to the front of the stage, if you could, please, at this point in time. Our committee chairs, that means our Small Business Committee, Education Workforce Development Committee, Government Affairs Committee, our chairs. And I forgot one thing. So what we're doing, in that we're bringing in, they're doing a lot of new things with our chamber and recognizing all the hard work coming from our committee chairs. And I'm going to hand this to our new chair, and he'll announce the names.
Okay, Calvin Green.
There's Calvin over here, certificate of appreciation.
There you go. Vanessa Rossell.
Not that one, he's not here.
Sandra Brooks.
She's not here.
Chris Sanders. Rhonda Thomas. Michelle Arrington.
Is Michelle still here? Okay, we'll hold that one for her. And he's not here as well, but we can also give him recognition.
Troy Vincent. Not here.
Not here as well. And we have one more. And I will mention this one because we don't have it with us, but Alana Hicks King is also our Small Business Development Chair as well. 1 second, we're going to get a picture. Earl? Well, thank you, committee chairs. When joining the chamber, one of the most ways you can get involved in the chamber is through the committee level. And if you really get involved with the committees, you become more instrumental in what we do, but you also become more closely involved with the chamber. Now, I'm going to turn the podium back over to our new chair, Earl Walker. He forgot one thing he would like to do in presenting something to our former chair. Mr. Walker, please.
You know, it's funny. I did work for his clinics before we even met. Again, but I want to thank Jeff. He did an outstanding job. He's continuing to coach me, and I thank him for that. If you don't mind, come up, Jeff, please. The chamber would like to present you with a plaque of appreciation for the service that you provided to the board, the community, and of course, DeKalb County. All right. Well, I think this was a great afternoon. I really do. I want to thank Frankie for his remarks and reaching out. We've now come to the end of our program, but I would like to share my appreciation to the chamber staff, Frankie, Stephanie, and Calandra. As a longtime member of the chamber, I've seen its ups and downs, but I have never witnessed a crew that had such synergy to work together. I've never seen them fuss, get cross with each other. You all know, come on, it happens in your operation. But this team is really dedicated to the chamber. So let's give the staff and Frankie an applause. So I hope today is what we witnessed and heard is that DeKalb is open for business. Through strong partnership and collaboration, we are here to help grow DeKalb County for the future. And again, when you have doubt, remember my story. Get connected. And for 87 years of extraordinary leadership, I want to thank you. And hey, our meeting's adjourned.